Welcome back to GrowBooks, the channel where we explore books that can help us think differently, grow personally, and navigate some of life's more difficult moments. Today we're looking at 3 books to read when you feel invisible in your relationship. Maybe you still love your partner deeply, but somewhere along the way you stopped feeling noticed. Conversations became about bills, work, children, or what's for dinner. You're together, but the emotional connection you once had doesn't feel quite the same. If that sounds familiar, these 3 books approach the problem from different angles. One helps us understand emotional connection. Another explores the patterns couples fall into. And the final book looks at something equally important: how to rediscover yourself while finding your way back to each other. The first book is Hold Me Tight by Dr. Sue Johnson. What makes this book particularly useful is that it encourages us to look underneath the arguments couples have. You might think you're arguing about housework, money, phones, or who forgot to do something, but sometimes there's a deeper question underneath all of that. Do I still matter to you? Sue Johnson developed emotionally focused therapy, and Hold Me Tight uses those ideas to help couples understand the emotional bond between them. The book is built around 7 conversations designed to help couples recognize negative patterns and communicate their deeper emotional needs. And that's why I think it's such a good book for someone who feels invisible. Sometimes you don't necessarily want flowers, expensive dinners, or grand romantic gestures. You simply want to know that your partner still sees you, that they're interested in what's happening inside your world, that when you reach towards them emotionally, they're still there. If you still love each other but feel like you've gradually drifted apart, Hold Me Tight is a very worthwhile place to begin. The next book is Secure Love by Julie Menanno. This one approaches relationships through attachment theory. One of the most interesting ideas here is that couples can become trapped in patterns neither person deliberately created. Perhaps one person feels disconnected and starts asking for reassurance. The other feels criticized and withdraws. That withdrawal makes the first person feel even more rejected, so they push harder. And suddenly you're having the same argument you've had 20 times before. Neither person necessarily wants the relationship to feel this way. They're simply caught in a cycle. Secure Love helps readers recognize those patterns and understand some of the emotional needs underneath them. And I think that's incredibly valuable because when you're feeling unseen, it's easy to arrive at one painful conclusion. They just don't care anymore. Sometimes that may not tell the whole story. Understanding your relationship pattern doesn't excuse poor behavior, but it can help you recognize what's actually happening and create a different conversation. If you keep having the same arguments without ever really solving anything, Secure Love could give you a completely different perspective. And the third book is a little different. It's called Invisible No More: Rediscover Yourself and Find Your Way Back to Each Other, from Books That Shape. The reason I wanted to include this book is because it asks another important question. What if you don't only feel invisible to your partner? What if you've also become a little invisible to yourself? Relationships exist alongside real life. Careers, children, responsibilities, family, housework, and everything else gradually fill our days. And sometimes a woman becomes so busy being everything to everybody that she forgets about the person underneath all those responsibilities. Things she once enjoyed disappear. Friendships become less frequent. Dreams get postponed. And eventually she wonders, where did I go? Invisible No More focuses on those 2 journeys together, rediscovering yourself while also rebuilding connection with your partner. Each chapter finishes with practical bring-it-to-life exercises that can be done individually or, where appropriate, together as a couple. What I particularly like about this approach is that it doesn't suggest you need to choose between yourself and your relationship. You can reclaim parts of your identity while also creating a stronger connection with the person you love. So, which of these 3 should you read? If emotional distance is your biggest concern, start with Hold Me Tight. If you keep falling into the same relationship patterns and arguments, try Secure Love. And if you're thinking, I love my partner, but somewhere along the way I lost part of myself, then Invisible No More may be the book that speaks most directly to where you are. Ultimately, feeling invisible doesn't always mean the love has disappeared. Sometimes 2 people simply stop noticing the small things. They stop asking questions. They stop sharing. They stop being curious about each other. And perhaps one of the most valuable things a good relationship book can do is give you the language to start talking again. Thanks so much for watching GrowBooks. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more book recommendations, reviews, and ideas that can help you grow. And as always, check the description below for helpful links to the books we've discussed today, including Invisible No More. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video.